Okay, it is time to do the next A to Z. My thoughts and many rework potentially changes I would make, whatever the heck you want to call it. We're on Cassiopeia, the Serpent's Embrace. Magic, without a doubt. Style, abilities, without a doubt. Difficulty 3, without a doubt. Crowd control 3 with damage 3, yet again, without a doubt. Honestly, I think this is the first time they've gotten this like 100% correct. Like, perfect. Okay, Cassiopeia is a deadly creature bent on manipulating others to her sinister will. Youngest and most beautiful daughter of the noble Ducatu family of Noxus, she ventured deep into the crypts beneath Shurima in search of ancient power. There she was bitten by a gruesome tomb guardian whose venom transformed her into a viper-like predator. Cunning and agile, Cassiopeia now slithers under the veil of night, petrifying her enemies with her baleful gaze. Okay. So she's literally Medusa. They just changed her name to Cassiopeia, except for instead of a god changing her into a snake lady, it was a guardian that should have killed her, but somehow transformed her. Makes sense. Makes sense. Okay, we're going to start with her Serpent's Grace. Cassiopeia gains movement speed per level, but she cannot purchase boots items. See, this is what is known as a dumb passive. Considering how she can't buy boots, but Hecarim, Urgot, Nami, they all can, just doesn't make sense to me. Like, Nami can buy boots, but has a fishtail. Hecarim can buy boots, but has horse feet. Urgot can buy boots, but he has 6 different legs, each one that ends with, like, a spike. Like, excuse me, why does Cassiopeia the only one that's not able of buying boots? Like, Nami literally flies. Like, Nami doesn't even touch the ground. She literally flies. Same with Zillion and Malzahar. Like, all of these people, they fly. They don't... Anivia. They don't touch the ground at all, and yet boots have an effect on them? Honestly, because of this, I would either do one, change all those other people to have the same type of passive, but like have their passive and this type of thing, and then give her a bonus passive, or I would simply do the bonus passive and allow her to buy boots, which would be, whatever the heck it's called, it would basically be the rune. Actually, yeah, that's exactly what it'd be. Like, here, I'll go over to it right now. No, it's in its collections now that I think about it. Runes. Let's go into this one. This rune. Phase Rush. Just, like, give her that. Like, upon hitting someone so many times, it causes her to gain a small amount of movement speed. Something like that. Why? Just because. And I would still allow her to buy boots as well, because it annoys me that she can't buy boots because she's a snake and yet all these other people can. That, and I find it annoying that she is the opposite of Victor, where she's like, she can buy another item not having to waste a slot on boots, when Victor has to waste 2 slots technically on boots and with his passive item, where her passive actually takes away an item. So that's what kind of annoys me when it comes to Cassiopeia. But yeah, I don't like that in general. Q. Noxus Blast. Cassiopeia blasts an area with poison after a brief delay, granting her increased movement speed if she hits an enemy champion. W. Miasma. Cassiopeia releases several clouds of poison, slowing, grounding, and lightly damaging enemies that pass through them. Grounded enemies cannot use movement abilities. Twin Fang. Cassiopeia lets loose an attack that deals increased damage to poison targets and heals her for a percentage of the damage dealt. If the target dies from this attack, Cassiopeia regains mana. Petrifying Gaze. Cassiopeia released a swirl of magic energy from her eye, stunning any enemy in front of her that are facing her and slowing any other with their back turned. So, one, I like this form of CC just because it's just like with like Tryndamere. I like CC that does two different things. I like how it has a chance of doing this and a chance of doing that depending on me. Now, what annoys me is that you can actually have, like, not your back turned, but if you're, like, 50-50. Like, let's say Gnostis right here was looking this direction, he would still probably be stunned. Because, like, his right eye can see her, but his left eye can. Like, you have to literally be 100% turned, and there's been some times where you are 100% turned and still get stunned, and then there's been a few times where you're staring right at her and you only get slowed. I've had both these happen to me. I've done both of these while playing Cassiopeia. It's annoying. It's a bit fidgety, but, you know, it does work like 90% of the time, but every once in a while it's just like, why? So I don't really have all that much against Cassiopeia. I just don't like a few things about her. Such as her Q giving her movement speed upon, like, hitting someone, I'm not that fond of. Her increase, a brief delay, granting her increased movement speed if she hits an enemy champion. I don't really like that at all because it allows her to, like, stick with you really well, especially with her E healing her, plus doing bonus damage if you're already poisoned. Now, honestly, it's really... I'm fine with it doing the bonus damage of poison because, honestly, her E alone does no damage. If you are not poisoned by her Q, she does no damage. Her lane sustain is only through her E and nothing else. And I'm fine with that, honestly. And, like, her W I find a bit annoying, but, you know, kind of somewhat necessary. So I like the way her W works because I think it would be stupid to make it like a giant circle, kind of like singed grounded, where it goes in a row where it's like a lot of little circles, just because that allows you to, like, go backwards or forward to get out of it instead of side to side. When it's a giant circle, it's just you can go any way and it won't matter. And I like that aspect about it. I don't really like the grounded feature in general, but, you know, like, I just don't like grounded, let alone it's specifically, not just in her case. So yeah. When it comes to her Q, I don't think it should give her the bonus movement speed because it just makes her too sticky. Because towards, like, even at low levels, she can just spam the hell out of her E and Q like there's no tomorrow. Like, her E I'm fine with, but her Q is just always active, and it's very, very aggravating in my opinion. And what I think that it should be more along the lines of her Q, it just does exactly what her Q does. It's just take away the movement speed. And then we should just kind of add it to her E, where upon, like, hitting an enemy with so many abilities, specifically abilities, meaning her E and her Q, causes you to gain some movement speed. And then we take away, like, the passive and everything. And now, yes, that'll still cause her to be sticky, but it'll be in, like, a different manner because it'll be on a cooldown. And it won't be just her Q's cooldown, which, you know, is like a second. So this will make it so that she's sticky when she first starts hitting you, which is, like, what I think an Assassin Mage should be, because, like, they're supposed to kill you within that time period, and if she doesn't kill you within that time period, then she is supposed to be left at a slightly disadvantage, and that's exactly what it would do. Now, do I think that currently she's that big of a powerhouse that absolutely needs this change? No. I think that she is definitely a very hard champion that I do not see that often because of this. I personally really like her kit. I'm just when it's kind of like the what I call the Victor curse, which is whenever I play Victor or Cassiopeia, I seem to just either be in a really bad matchup, such as like fighting Fizz, fighting an assassin that has a better early game potential than me, fighting a control mage that just completely takes all the farm and pushes me under tower the entire game, where I'm just left behind very much. And then my team just then either one flames or two cause it also feeds, and then like I'm left not being able to do anything, they're left not being able to do anything, and we just lose the game because there's nothing we can do. And that's like the main reason why I don't play her or Victor, is just because, like, as I call it the Victor curse. It's just when you play these champions, for some reason it just doesn't go well for me. No, that, and because I'm not like a pro on them and I can't do all these insane things, I'm not good enough for that quite yet. I can, but not to like a good extent, I would say. So as I was saying, there's very little I would change with her. I'd keep her ult the exact same. I'd keep her E the exact same. I'd probably adjust for the whatever the heck it's called, for the health back, because I think that the health that it can give you back might be a little bit annoying, aggravating. I think it can be a bit excessive too, but at the same time it is her only really survivability in a fight. And because of that, I think that it is fine the way it is, but at the same time I think that there's been a lot of situations where like a Cassiopeia can be a really low HP, get off one Q and just spam the hell out of her E and just get all of her HP back. And like I understand like that's her kit and everything, that's what she's supposed to do, but at the same time the amount of HP she gets back can be very annoying, especially to the people fighting her. So, yeah, I think that her E might need some adjustment, but as it is currently, I would say it is fine and I can understand it. Her W. I'm fine with it. As I was saying, I don't like the grounded feature. I kind of wish it didn't do any damage at all, but it does do very, very slight damage to like a abysmal effect. It's basically nothing. I think it does increase her E damage because it does poison you, I believe. Which honestly, as I was saying before, I'm fine with that too. And like, just, you know, like I will accept her kit the way here is with when it comes to that as well. So her alt, E, and W, I think are fine. It's really just her Q and her passive that need the big work. Such as passive, I don't like the fact that she's the only one that has that. Like, where's the consistency? Why does Urgot need boots? Why do all these other people need boots when they're literally flying and they're not even touching the ground? What does Nami use boots for when she doesn't have feet? Like, at least Hecarim and so forth, like, at least Urgot, at least they have feet, they touch the ground. But, you know, boots wouldn't really fit, that's for sure. So I kind of think that because of that reason, I don't really like it. Plus of the bonus aspect of she gets another ability power item that she, like, no one else really can grab, because she doesn't need to buy boots. Now, yes, you can sell your boots late game if you're really feeling it, but generally you do want to keep your boots unless you're getting a super late game and, like, you really think that this other purchase is a much better buy. And with her, and I would just change her passive to just be something like Phase Rush, where it gives you a small amount of movement speed upon hitting someone that is, I want to say, like, impaired. Meaning, not like hitting someone with your, I don't want it to be hitting someone like 3 times with your abilities, because then you can proc Phase Rush and this passive at the exact same time, which could give her an absurd amount of movement speed for a little while, which I don't want that to be the case. But maybe along the lines of other people can help you proc it, such as if you use your W and they have their movement speed impaired because of it, and then you hit them with your E and your Q, or then upon hitting a person that is impaired with 3 abilities, causes you to gain steal a small amount of movement speed or something along those lines. So that you're kind of keeping with the theme of Cassiopeia, which is she's a threat because she's able of moving around the battlefield, using all of her abilities at a rapid rate, and she's slowing you down. That's the main goal, is that she's poisoning you. She's basically killing you over time, preventing you from moving, preventing you from doing anything. And I think that's the main theme of Cassiopeia. And I think that her stealing your movement speed would definitely work better with this. Now, because of this, as I was saying, I would move the increased movement speed off of her Q, and because of her actually stealing, I would also adjust her damage numbers a bit as well. In multiple degrees, probably both with her E and her Q, just because if you're slowed, this makes 1v1s a insane difficulty, and when it comes to team fights, it wouldn't be that big of a deal, but it's definitely going to be something that's very prevalent. And because of that, I would change it so that whatever the heck it's called, her E does less early damage and more late damage. Same with her Q, so I'd adjust her scalings to just to be worse early on, early levels. And I would keep her E capable of doing whatever the heck it's called. Healing, I would keep the amount of heal that it would do, and I would keep the cooldown of everything. I would just decrease its damage early on, so that when she's in that one fight opportunity, she does she really needs to. I don't know how to put this into words. She really needs to really be useful and destroy you in the 1v1, not just say I steal your movement speed, you're going to die type of kit. So maybe just increasing her movement speed would be a better idea over letting her steal yours. But I would definitely want to see it pan out in the PBE first. Such as, I don't really want to see her taking movement speed right away in the actual game, just to find out that it's overpowered as all hell, and then have to change it to just giving her movement speed instead. Because it's kind of the problem I have with Malphite, is I don't think he should be taking your movement speed. So, yeah, I would change her passive. Let's do a quick recap. Her passive would be changed pretty much entirely to, upon hitting someone that has had their movement impaired, then she gains a small amount of their movement speed. Maybe she doesn't steal it. Maybe she just gains 10% of whatever movement speed they are at. Meaning, someone stuns Ramus when he's spinning with his Q, and then she hits him with a Q and then 2 E's. She just starts speed running. Or same thing with, someone that, a Singed with a Righteous Glory on or something like that. Or a Righteous Glory Ramus. Or, yeah, she'll just, steal part, or not steal, but copy part of your movement speed and use it herself. That would be her passive. Her Q would not increase her movement speed and probably get lower damage early on. Her W would be the same. Her E would not gain, would probably have lower damage early on, but be the same otherwise. Her alt would still be the exact same, no differences at all. And that would be Cassiopeia's kit, in my opinion. Let's move over to the skins. She has a decent amount. There's the regular skin. Here's the Desperado Cassiopeia. Eh, I don't like it. I think in my opinion, it does look just kind of stupid. But I guess it's not like a bad skin, but in my opinion, I don't like it. I wouldn't use it. Siren Cassiopeia. Ah, it's yet again, it's just like, in my opinion, it's really not that good of a skin. It's okay, but that's it. Mythic Cassiopeia, basically they turned her into Medusa. I think that they should have actually like changed her hair to be like all snake-like in this, but that's about it. Jade Fang Cassiopeia. I think this looks great. The animations are great for it in game too. I wish that the tail itself was like a bit more crystal-like, but that's about it. And then Eternum. I haven't really seen this one much in game at all, but I do think it does look really cool. I just wish that like instead of having the giant headpiece thing, that it was like just more red and colorful looking there. But that's really it. I don't have any actual like skins for her. I kind of wish that she had more of like a comedic skin, kind of like the ones that just came out for whatever the heck it's called, Galio and Sever, where it was more like a pizzeria or so on and so forth type skin, instead of I just wish that she had a more comedic skin in general. I'm not really quite sure what I would make it though. But that is Cassiopeia. Thank you all very much for watching. If you agree with anything that I had to say about Cassiopeia, please leave a like, maybe subscribe if you want to see other my A to Z reworks. If you have any other thoughts of what you would change with Cassiopeia, or what you like about Cassiopeia currently, because you might play her more than me, because I'm not, as I said, I'm not the best on her just yet. Please just say that. Say if you think I'm ruining the champion. Say if you think I'm actually you want to see some of my things actually happen and see what happens from them happening, and so on and so forth. Okay, if you happen to know the people from Riot, please inform them of me. I would love to call them all morons on a day-to-day basis and say you need to fix your dumbass game. Thank you all very much for watching the video. I hope to see you all next time. And I'm going to bid you all adieu. Goodbye.